Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field for the start of the Greater Boston League. It's hard to say that when Classical has been in the Northeastern Conference for so many years, but it's Classical taking on Somerville in Classical's first game in a while. They played teams from the GBL back when the teams from the GBL were in the Northeastern Conference. Then they were voted out, and they still had a couple of scrimmages with teams or, non-league games with some of them. But now it's full-fledged. Classical and English has moved out of the Northeastern Conference into the GBL, and it may be one of the biggest conferences around because with English and Classical coming in, Revere going back out of the Northeastern Conference, they had voted before English and Classical to go. And then with Chelsea coming over, and there's rumor that Cambridge Riz might be coming back. So it's a whole different ball game. Of course, it's totally different now anyway because now we have Classical and English playing soccer and football. And within a week, we're going to have St. Mary's and Tech playing baseball and softball. They're wrapping up this soccer football seasons. And now, after English and Classical play basketball and hockey, they'll be into soccer and football. So it's the difference in the leagues. The Commonwealth Conference for Tech, Catholic Central League for St. Mary's. Of course, the Northeastern Conference, all those teams started early. The Lynn teams, especially English and Classical and Tech, couldn't get going because they were red zones. And because they were red zones, they couldn't play anything. So by the time Tech was able to play, basketball was over, so they didn't have a basketball season. So the only thing they had was football and soccer, and they're winding those up now while English and Classical are just starting. It varied from place to place. English Classical played with 8 teams in the GBL. They played 7 basketball games, boys and girls. St. Mary's girls played 23 games. They played a regular season without the state tournament. So it's really been up in the air. The virus has caused problems everywhere, and it's still causing problems. And I don't know if we're out of it yet. I know New Hampshire is saying you don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. They're eliminating masks. They're not mandatory. I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll soon find out. We still have cases, at least they're minimal. We had instances where we had almost 300 cases a day in Lynn, with everybody having to work and everybody having to go meet everybody and work with everybody. And so we'll certainly see. Somerville in the white, Classical in their green. Caleb Rooney in net for the Highlanders of Somerville. Isaiah Diaz in net for the Classical Rams. Oscar Guzman Martinez. Head coach is Eric Moreno. I was looking at the alternates for Classical they put on. Diego Morera, the head coach for Somerville. And they got a lot of leg into that. They kicked a very good field goal from outside the 15-yard line, but they got it up and away and over everything, and it was long gone and hard to find. Excluding the virus, the only good thing that's happening is these kids are getting out and getting able to get on the field and perform. They haven't done it in a long time. It's cost seniors last year. It's going to cost seniors this year because they're not going to play anywhere near the number of games, and it's a shame. So a lot of these kids that might get looked at might be able to get some kind of help at least, or scholarship for college. It's not going to happen because they're not going to get here. Those are collisions. They both try to go for the ball. And going down hard, but luckily getting up. I think there was Al Shablawi. Somerville trying to go deep. It got broken up by Anthony Evelyn. And Glasgow breaks it up again. They try to go deep. They would have been offside if they completed that pass. They were well behind the defense. I don't know how much time these people have had, the young men and the young women, to practice. Some of them probably played basketball that just finished. So I don't know how much. I'm sure they didn't have too much time to get out, start working out, get ready. This is when you'll see people go down because they wind up with cramps or pull a muscle or turn the wrong way and something tightens up because they haven't fully worked out. You bang it off Somerville. Trying to kick it deep, Somerville blocks it again, out of play. Blocked again, Somerville keeps it in. And they try to center it, they got way too much foot into that one, drilled it behind the net, way out of play. Talking to Coach Moreno, we had a couple of his regulars not here. Glasgow only has 5 seniors. It's a young team. He has the goaltender as a junior. They almost put that one in their own net. That kick goes wide. They were trying to give it back to Diaz to kick away. They kicked it. He almost had to make a save. Luckily, they didn't get any mustard on it because they would have knocked it by him. It's been all Somerville here in the early going. Glasgow hasn't been down very much in the Somerville end. Glasgow again trying to get it out of their own end. Somerville keeps it alive. Is going to go out off Somerville. Boy, that was Somerville knocking that out of play. The official gave it back to Somerville. They knock it toward the net, knocked away, and then kicked away. Blocked again. Back to the Somerville end. Very quickly, they take it back to the classical side. Somerville's got 9 seniors. Long lead pass got broken up by Evelyn. They try to go cross field. It got picked off. Somerville trying to keep it in. They just nudged it in play, and it got knocked away. Trying to line up a shot. Still walking around. Diaz made the save off that pass. They centered it nicely. What a great job. And someone's going to get called for knocking Classical down. Blocked and couldn't keep it in. Diaz made a great play on that centering pass. There was a white shirt standing out in front looking to tip it home. And Diaz dove and made the save and took that would-be goal away. Hacked down by Cruz Perez. Somerville to the far side. Trying to center it. Classical boots it away. Back to midfield. Classical knocked it out. Not a corner kick, but it's coming from the same spot. They try to center it, and they got a piece of it, but they got blocked. Evelyn did a nice job blocking the would-be shooter. Couldn't get a lot on it, and they were able to knock it away and clear it away. Nice job by Evelyn. I believe it was Benavides who was out in front looking for a tap in, and they blocked it. Classical coming back. First time in a long time they've had it in the Somerville end, and Somerville takes it away. And they knock it deep. It gets by. Somerville's got a shot, and they knock it over the net. They made him hurry the shot. It was bouncing besides, and he got under it and knocked it over everything. That might have been Garcia. Hard to pick up the numbers, especially when you're old. Somerville gets it back. Walking in, they take the shot. Great save by Diaz again. What a great play. That looked like 1-0 Somerville all the way. Glasgow clears it away. What a great job by Diaz. Point blank, hard shot. He just dove and got a piece of it. And that keeps it 0-0. Now Classical knocks it all the way back. Diaz has to go get it, and he boots it upfield. It's been a couple of nice saves, but that was a beauty. I mean, that was, no question, that was a goal. And Glasgow couldn't keep it in. Time for substitution now to get it back in play. Almost looking for those long lead passes. In front, they bang it home. All that pressure finally pays off. Diaz had no chance on that at all. They blocked the ball carrier down the far side. It popped out in front, and they just banged it home. We're looking to see who scored the goal. It was Andrew DaCosta that banged it home. And that was just a little bit of a scrum out in front. They leaned on the would-be carrier coming down the far side. And as he lost the ball, it popped out in front. It was partially blocked, but DaCosta got enough on it to bang it home. Diaz had no chance. That was just about point blank, a rifle shot. And Somerville grabs the 1-0 lead. Nice save by Diaz. There were two white shirts behind him if that ball gets by. Nice run down the near side. And the shot, Diaz grabbed it, held on, and they blew it away. Looking to go deep, and too much mustard on it, and was, I don't know if they call Classical offside or if they call Somerville for contact. I guess they call Classical offside. The kick is going to come from their own 30-yard line. Trying to get around the defense. They knock it back deep. Out in front, they got a piece of it, lined up the shot, but a little over the shoulder kick. Went high over the net and out of play. Good idea. Try to center it. The would-be scorer had his back to the net, and a little bicycle kick, if you will, went high over the net and out of play. Classical has not done really anything offensively. They've been sitting back trying to keep Somerville off the board. Trying to walk in, still trying to walk in. The shot, it skipped past Diaz and went in the back of the net. Just a ground ball. They were battling. Nobody could get control of the ball. It finally popped loose. Marcus Odilon. Marcus Odilon got the goal. That looked like Diaz had the save. One of those where it just went right through the wickets. We're just past the halfway mark of this first half. That little touch that bounced, nobody could get control of it. Someone was trying to get it to the net. Glasgow trying to knock it away. It rolled loose, and Odilon just got a tap. Diaz reached for it, and it went right by him into the backside of the net. And as we get a timeout just past the halfway mark, Somerville has jumped to a 2-0 lead over Classical here in this GBL opening game of the season. Back in the swing of things, weather has held off nicely. This being Saturday, it poured rain all day. Friday, it was raining a little bit today. And now there's patches of bright sky around Manning Field, and looks like the rain is going. And so, thank goodness for that. We mentioned Classical, a young team. They're missing 5 or 6 players. You often wonder what these kids are thinking of. There are 5 or 6 kids. Now this is the beginning of vacation week, starting Monday. So Friday being the last day before vacation, 5 or 6 of the kids decided not to go to school. And the rule is, you don't go to school, practice, games, whatever come up, you don't play. So they're out for the week. So unfortunately for head coach Eric Moreno, he's missing a few of his good players. And not for a good reason. It's not like they were sick and they had COVID or they got hurt. They just, and it's mind-boggling because it's Friday. It's one day before you have a week off. So why do you all of a sudden say, I'm not going to go Friday? You go for the weekend, you take Friday off before a vacation week. And that's why I say you wonder sometimes what these young men are thinking. Or if they're thinking. Pascal almost got a break. Somerville just got in the way of 2 green shirts trying to tip it ahead, go in alone on the goaltender. And for the first time, the goaltender, Caleb Rooney, gets to touch the ball. Classical lets it go out of play. It'll go out off Somerville. So we were in the swing of things with basketball. With St. Mary's really the only team playing, boys and girls, locally. They finished up. They're going into soccer and football. St. Mary's then jumped into, along with Lchs, into soccer and football. They're wrapping up. St. Mary's has wrapped up soccer. They played soccer a long time ago. They're just playing football now. They've got, I think, maybe one more game left away. And then I think it's May 3rd. St. Mary's and Tech will get into baseball and softball. Somerville blocks the clearing pass, trying to keep it in. It skips past Classical. Gets knocked out by Somerville. "15 minutes and counting left in his first half. Somerville has scored twice. Second one was a backbreaker. It was just a little bit of a dribble with a loose ball out in front, and they got control. Classical gets taken down. The refs are letting them play a little bit. Somerville gangs up and knocks it loose. Tip, trying to walk in, take the shot, looking for the, just missed, sticking that inside the far post. That was DaCosta looking for his second goal. He fought off the defense, got the shot off, got it past Diaz, but it just went wide of that far post from the near side. And it stays 2-0. And it's been all Somerville. Classical hasn't even come close to getting a shot on net. The one time that Rooney touched the ball was a long kick that he came out almost to the 10-yard line to pick off. It just rolled to him. Broken up. Once again, Somerville controls. They center it. Diaz smothers it. Just got there ahead of DaCosta. Good job by Diaz. And he boots it deep. And they call Classical for making contact, trying to get the ball. Blocked by the defensive Classical. They got by a few, but they couldn't get by everybody. Now this is the second time Rooney will get to kick it away. Both times it's been tipped back to him by his own team. Classical took it away, but Somerville boots it away and gets it out of play. Classical very quickly puts it back in play. And they blew the whistle. And they give it back to Somerville. we get whistle again. Now they give it back to Glasgow. They giveth and they taketh away. They blow the whistle again for another violation. We can't get the ball in bounds without the official blowing the whistle. First Glasgow, Somerville, back to Glasgow. They finally get it in play. The body's going down. Alzon Hamley came in contact with Benavides. Now Glasgow gets there first and knocks it out. 10 minutes and counting left in this first half. 2-0 Somerville. Opening game of the season. Boys soccer in the GBL League. Brand new for Glasgow and English. As we mentioned before, it's kind of a return of a favor. It was a few years ago that the GBL, they lost Arlington, they lost Waltham, they lost Cambridge. So they inquired and were accepted into the Northeastern Conference with the exception of Everett football. And strange, there was no problem because Everett turned DiBiase, the coach, then said, we'll play an independent schedule. And everybody came in, and it was great. It was a very good league, very competitive. All the sports, boys and girls. And they finally voted everybody in, including Everett football. And the year they did that, before everything could get etched in stone, they voted not only Everett football, but everybody out. And they had to go back to the GBL League. So after all of that, now it's English and Glasgow dropping the Northeastern Conference and coming to the Greater Boston League. Shot, score. Again, they get very deep, right on top, and just blasted it by. Talking to the Somerville coach before the game, the problem is going to be when they have games at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, coming from Somerville, Medford, Malden, a little bit Revere, Everett. The traffic is going to be horrendous for English and Glasgow. It's not going to be easy going to those places. Won't be the same as going to Swampscott, Marblehead, Salem, Peabody. Pop straight up in the air. Glasgow clears it away. The pass got through, and they called Glasgow offside. The one time they looked like they were going to maybe do something. Look, Asher Blaui was going to catch that pass and maybe get a shot off. And just as he was about to corral the ball, they blew the whistle for offside. Classical knocked it right to Somerville. Now they kick it away as they try to center it. Somerville keeps it alive in the middle. Partially blocked, it pops straight up in the air, and Diaz able to make the easy catch. Skips past everybody, and it was a race to see if Al Shablawi could get there first, and they kicked it back to Rooney. And that's the only way Rooney has been able to touch the ball. His own team getting the ball back to him to kick it away. Classical hasn't come close to getting anything near the net. We mentioned before, Classical down at least 5 regular players. Classical will be right back here, this being Saturday night, a rare Saturday night. They'll be right back here Monday night, and they'll be playing Lynn Tech. They weren't supposed to, it wasn't scheduled, but Greater Lawrence had COVID problems, both football and soccer, and they had to cancel their games. And it's almost like a scrimmage. It's a game, but it's almost like a scrimmage, and they're happy to play these games because there aren't that many teams now to play in soccer. That will be that'll be Tech's last official soccer game. But it was like during the GBL basketball season, English and Classical only had the GBL to play because there was no one else playing basketball. You couldn't say, we'll play the league and then we'll play a couple of outside non-conference games because there weren't any non-conference teams playing basketball. They were all into other sports. It's really been that mixed up. Free kick coming from the 24-yard line, almost dead center. Classical sets up that, like I call it, the picket fence. They fake it. They take the shot. Diaz makes the save. Boy, they put that right on the money. They drilled that kick from the 25-yard line, and it was going under the top crossbar. That was a shot and a half. Diaz had to go high in the air to grab that one. That one goes way out of play. Had a shot, he didn't take it. Trying to center it. Tipped away by Classical. Broken up nicely by Classical. And he pushed that pass a little too far. They gave that one away. A little too much mustard on trying to get it upfield. looking, trying to walk in. They dropped it off. The shot just went by the far post. They walked right in. A couple of people had it, lost it, and they picked it up and drilled that shot. And I believe it was DeCosta again. Haskell coming back. They pop it straight up in the air. Knocked away. Somerville knocks it deep. We're in the final 2 minutes. Somerville with another break. They tip it, and he tipped it too far ahead. It's going to go out of play. Diaz came way out of the net, left the net wide open. Luckily, it rolled out of bounds. First half winding down, all Somerville. They tip it ahead, and it bounced over the foot. They had the right idea. They had from the middle, breaking from the far side. They made the very nice pass, and at the last minute, it just took a hop and went over the would-be goal scorer's foot. They were that close to making it 4-0. Haskell breaks it up and then clears it away. Haskell looking for a break. They got taken down. Boy, the officials are really letting them play. Kevin Rubio Madrano got grabbed and pulled down at the 15-yard line with no call. And that's going to do it for the first half. So Somerville dominated possession, territorial, and they dominate on the scoreboard as well. At the end of the first half, it's Somerville 3, Lynn Classical nothing. Underway here in the second half. They kick it deep, and Classical has to kick it out of play because Somerville. All these teams run together now with all the leagues and all the different sports and all the different games. Somerville was there looking. They almost kicked that one out in the street. They put it in play from down deep. 3-0 Somerville as we start the second half. We're trying to figure out who got that third goal. And it was Cole Baldwin. Somerville kicked it out of play. Glasgow put it back in play. We mentioned Glasgow will get to play an extra game because they're going to fill in against Lynn Tech Monday. Greater Lawrence had COVID problems, had to cancel both their football and soccer games with Lynn Tech. And Glasgow was able to step in, and it'll be one of the few interleague games that are being played. We haven't had hardly any interleague games. First shot on net, that might have gone inside the far post. That was a good bid by Glasgow. Popped it up. Rooney had to make the save. It was a nice shot on net. Glasgow almost got on the board. Elzon Halimi got that little half pop, half line drive. Looking to get it inside the far post. Rooney finally had to make a save. And Somerville takes it right back in the Glasgow end. Bodies go down. They didn't blow the whistle until the Somerville player went down on the grass. And Somerville get a free kick from the 15-yard line from a tough angle. Last time they did this, they let the left-handed shooter take it. Now they kick it back and they let him do it again from long range. It goes wide. I was wondering how they're going to do that because he had it set up perfectly in the first half because it was going to his left. This time they were way over on the right side, but they gave it to him anyway. He kicked it way wide and out of play. Let's go, boots it ahead. And they get there first, down the near side. And it goes out. Somerville caught up and knocked it out. And again, we got bodies going down with no call. And that was right in front of the official. They knock it deep, Somerville with a break. Trying to cut in the middle. Lost it, gets it back. Nice poke check, takes it away. Looked like he was going to break. Good defense by Glasgow to force him to pull it back, and then he knocked it away. From long range, the shot goes wide right. Not a bad night weather-wise. If it's chilly for the people that are down in the stands. Not so much for us in the press box. But a lot better than it could have been because it looked like it was going to rain and really be tough. Glasgow breaks it up. Glasgow goes down. And they're staying down. As Winthrop takes it back upfield. The shot off the top crossbar. It hit the top crossbar. It bounced out, came out in front, and deflected off both the Glasgow and the Somerville player back to Diaz, who made the save. And now they go back upfield where the player was down. You know, I hate to think that they're watching these soccer games and flopping to try and get free kicks or penalties because you never know whether they're hurt or not. I'm not going to mention the name, but the player went down like he was shot with a gun. They kept going. Somerville hit a crossbar. It bounced out. They blew the whistle. And when they looked upfield, the player was back up on his feet looking to get the ball back. So it's hard to know whether people are hurt or not. And now the same player just went down again. Shot Somerville just firing away. They shot that one wide again. Nice little shift. Somerville right back at it. Classical breaks it up nicely. They tried to knock it deep. Somerville blocked it. And they're going to call contact with a hand or an arm. Classical will get the free kick. And that's Viveros knocking it out. Now we've had another foul up on the kick. And it comes back to Classical. And Macario Coronado will kick it in after we get a substitution for both teams. And now, I'm not sure if you can't boot it in the middle of the field or you can't kick it deep. I don't know what the penalty is. There's so many rule changes. But as soon as he put his foot into it, they blew the whistle and gave it back to Somerville. We've had a lot of turnovers with the ball being put in play. Somerville gets around one. Classical steps in and knocks it out of play. Ten minutes into the second half. 3-0 Somerville on top. They got all three in the first half. Classical breaks it up. Somerville takes it away, but they made contact doing it and they blow the whistle. Classical will get the free kick. They booted it very deep. Somerville just got a piece. Classical was hoping they were going to get a break. Classical out in front, offside. Al Shablawi again didn't like the call. They got the pass to him, but they blew the whistle and called him offside. Somerville blocks that would-be long pass. Classical takes it away. Deep down the far side. They try to go around. They get taken down. The Classical player slowly getting up. Somerville just saved it, and they control it down the far side, trying to center it off a foot, looking to get the shot off, trying to walk in, and they score. What a great play. Just kept going around, around, and around. Avoided a couple of defenders, and with that left foot, he just drilled it. Lchs Carey, the fourth goal scorer for Somerville. He was battling with a couple of defenders, kept touching it, getting alive, keeping it in control, trying to get around. Finally got loose, and he was inside the 5-yard line when he drilled it on net. And they're in close again and drilled it out of play. But I guess it got touched by Classical because Somerville's going to get a corner kick. Their first corner kick. They center it. They got a tip. Diaz picked it off. I notice now that Somerville, with this 4-0 lead, is going to go a little deeper to the bench. The players on the bench that were spectators so far are now loosening up, getting ready to come in. They knock it deep. Somerville's going to get there first. And they lost it out of bounds. Bruno Silva was the one with the ball. He got there first, but they kept pushing him further away. Closer he got to the net, the farther left they pushed him, and he finally lost it out of bounds. Somerville gets everybody involved. They pass the ball well. Off a foot, loose. Somerville gets it back. Trying to center it. Glasgow knocks it away. Looking to center it. They got a piece of it. They got a piece of it twice. And they got a piece of it the third time and knocked it off the side of the net. They got a piece, deflected it. It was going by the net. They got another piece. They kept it in play, but then they were too far behind the post and hit it off the side of the net out of play. They've had all kinds of chances. Classical hasn't had any. They had a one-time shot by Halimi, a little half pop that was going over the head of Rooney underneath the top crossbar. And Rooney was able to pick it off. And that's as close as they've come. Looking for a break. And they knock it home. Diaz came out to try and cut down the angle. And that's DaCosta with his second goal. And the lead has jumped to 5-0. So Costa has 2. And that one was right in front. Diaz had no chance. trying to walk in, getting by everybody. They finally tipped it away, but someone keeps it alive, and they knock it over the net. Everybody battling from the right side. The ball popped over to the left side. Bruno Silva came flying in. And it wasn't Bruno Silva. It was Zachary Wiseman Bennett, who missed that open net from the left side. Knocked out by Wiseman Bennett. So I guess the only thing left in doubt is Clarksville going to score, because Somerville's going to win this game. Somerville had a bit of a problem in basketball. The game they were supposed to play against English, they had a COVID problem, but they were able to overcome it, get back and play in the playoffs and finish the season. But it's starting to hit everybody. Everybody thought that the young men, the young women would be okay, and it wasn't going to affect the younger crowd. They're finding out that that was a myth. The young people can get it too. And if they're not getting it, they may be at least transferring it. That's why when you stop to think of it, what an outstanding job the teachers are doing in the schools, doing their best, working hard to keep these kids in line, educated, getting them ready to move on. Difficult time for everybody, but there are so many heroes, the doctors, the nurses, who spend time, sometimes 7 days a week, away from their families, trying to help everybody, trying to keep everybody going. The teachers, the EMTs, fire, police, so many. It doesn't pick on anyone. No favorites. It goes after everybody. Diaz has to make the save on that little tap. It's been an extremely, extremely rough time, and we're not out of it yet. I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal. I don't know if we know what normal is. We're just past the halfway mark of this second half. So we got 3 in the first. They got 2 here in the second. And they're comfortably ahead, 5-0. With Glasgow getting 1 shot on net. Somerville with another break out in front. Trying to spin, trying to get the shot off. Can't. Trying to get the shot off. Diaz makes the point blank save. He's been very good in net. You look at the score, it could be a lot worse. Diaz has played very well. Glasgow player down again. Play continues now. They stop it. $18:38 left in this GBL opener. Somerville over Glasgow 5-0. We'll take a quick break. We're back with the clock running in the second half. We hope the young man's going to be all right. I think that was Viveros. He got up and favored his right on his foot, ankle, gingerly, but he made it over under his own steam. So hopefully he'll be okay. Glasgow trying to knock it deep. Some of them won't let him. They just tip it back to Rooney, and he boots it away. Most of the time, with the exception of one shot by Halimi, there was just a little touch. Rooney, the only time he's touched the ball is when his own team has kicked it back to him to clear it and boot it upfield. Again, it's bad enough they had to start with Somerville, who's a very good boys soccer program. But they had to start with Somerville missing 5 players, and we won't get deep into it again, but they're missing 5 players for a very dumb reason. Somerville gets it out in front, trying to get around the defense. Glasgow trying to block it. They knocked it off Somerville. Good job. That was Evelyn, I think, with the defensive play. Trying to knock it deep. Getting over there and getting a foot on it. And knocking it away was Bieda Tassi for Somerville. Glasgow lets it go out of play. Time for a substitution for Glasgow. Glasgow stepping in, but they knocked it out. They get the shot off. I don't know if Rooney got a piece. It went wide. Good bit. That's the first time Glasgow got really an opportunity for a good shot. I think that was Fazil Oskoplu. Try to say that 5 times fast. He tried to knock it deep. The defense have played really well for Somerville. They haven't let Glasgow do very much. And they haven't let Glasgow keep it in the Somerville end for very long. They knock it deep, and Glasgow takes it away and knocks it out. They knock it down in front, trying to center it, line up a shot. Glasgow takes it away. Coming back. Cutting it to the middle. As Donovan Barrios. We're going to tie up with bodies. The two players got stuck together. The ball was stuck between their legs. Glasgow's going to get a free kick. Barrios will take it. High in the air, it stays out to the left, didn't hook back, went out of play. I saw the Somerville players that were sitting for a while, loosening up, running up and down the sideline. I don't know if they're trying to stay warm. I thought they were getting ready to come in the game, but they haven't made that many changes. They knock it deep. Somerville gets there first and collects. Glasgow breaks it up. Nice defense. Broken up again by Glasgow. They knock it deep down the far side. Glasgow gets there, but Somerville gets there right with him, slows him down. They try to get a shot from long range. They get the shot from long range, put it right in the middle of the net. Rooney was able to make the save. I'm trying to see who that was. I thought we don't have a number 25. On the Glasgow roster. I think it was Mario De Leon Robles who got that shot, drilled it from right around the 25-yard line, drilled it right dead center of the net, and Rooney was able to make the save. They knock it deep down the far side. They push it a little too far. Somerville catches up. They try to center it. They look for the shot. Might have gone inside the far post, might have been wide, but Rooney made the save anyway off the shot by Donovan Barrios. 10 minutes and counting left in this one. Glasgow in the second half at least has got a couple of shots on net. They didn't have any in the first half. Now they kick it back to Rooney for him to kick it away. Kicks it back into Glasgow territory. Blocked. And he blocked it with his hand. So Glasgow's going to get a free kick. Up, over to net, and out of play. Someone's going to make a couple of changes. They're going to take the goalie out. The new goaltender will be a sophomore, Peter Lonsberry. With 8 minutes and counting left in the game, Somerville on top 5-0. Rooney didn't have to do much. He made a couple of saves, but even the saves he made were long range, got a good look at it, and was able to pick off the ball rather easily. One was a little pop-up off the foot of Halimi. That last one was a rocket from long distance by De Leon Robles. It was dead center, but Rooney got a good look. Nobody out in front, nobody blocked his view. He got a good look and made the save. Now that one, that's a little tough save. You just come in the game. Lonsbury, that long kick, he trapped it. It shot hopped him right in front of him. That's not an easy save, especially when you just came off the bench and a cold night, trying to warm up, and they test you right off the bat with that long shot that bounced right at your ankles. But he was right there and made the save. Keeps the shutout alive. Blocked, but knocked out. Macario Coronado blocked it, went to go get it, but he booted it out of play. And once again, Somerville coming right back. Defense for Somerville has certainly been a big part of this. They've just shut Glasgow down. Little give and go was broken up by Glasgow. They gave up a couple of shots, but they were from long range, easy saves for Rooney. Glasgow coming back. Somerville takes it away. They haven't really let Glasgow get going. They haven't been able to keep it very long in the Somerville end. And each time Somerville has answered by taking it right back and threatening in the Glasgow end. So Somerville's got a couple of goals from Andrew DaCosta. They got a goal from Marcus Odilon. Cole Baldwin got one. And Lucas Carey got one. And that's 5-0. As we got bodies going down. And they call it against Somerville, so Glasgow will get a free kick. The crowd has blossomed. There's a lot of people. For a cold Saturday night, sitting out here watching Glasgow and Somerville. Yahia Viveros will take the kick. And started to hook back. Lounsbury came out, made the basket catch. And now Glasgow's going to make a change in net. I believe this is Gerardo Mancia Lchs, young freshman. Taking Diaz out. Diaz played well. Made a couple of really nice saves. Shot, score. They sent it out in front. And getting his second was Marcus Odilon. So he's got 2. DaCosta's got 2. Baldwin and Carey have 1 apiece. So, welcome to the big leagues. Gerardo Mancia Lchs, he didn't have a chance to even take a breath. They centered it, and it was Marcus Odilon just on the fly, breaking down from about inside the 15-yard line. Just one time that ball coming out in the middle of the field and just ripped it into the back of the net. As we wind this down, we're in the final 2 minutes and counting. Glasgow's had a couple of times where they had a man breaking. If the pass got through, they'd have a breakaway, but the defense hasn't allowed it for Somerville. Somerville knocks it out. We're just waiting for the official to blow the whistle and signal the end of this one. Glasgow, not a heck of a lot. Donovan Barrios got a shot on net. Rocket by Justin Torino, where Rooney had to make the save, dead center of the net from long range. And that little over-the-shoulder pooch kick by Elzon Halimi. Rooney just picked it off over his head. It looked like it was going to go in the back of the net over the head of Rooney, and he just reached up and grabbed it. And that's been it for Glasgow. The only time Rooney, other than that, touched the ball was when his own team pushed it back to him to have him booted upfield. We'll get the whistle, the final whistle, and that'll do it. So Somerville starts out their GBL season with a big 6-0 win. Glasgow on the opposite side. They're on the short end of a 6-0 score. So it was DaCosta and Odilon getting 2 apiece. Somerville gets 3 in the first half, 3 in the second half. They shut Glasgow out. Glasgow never really got it going offensively. The 3 shots they got, 2 of the 3 were from long range. One was just a little high pop-up that was handled by the goaltender, and that was it as they were shut out. And the defense for Somerville really shut them down and didn't let them get going. So 6-0 Somerville over Glasgow. Glasgow will drop to 0-1. Somerville will go to 1-0. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.